to item B, school district resolution directing county to place a referendum on the primary election ballot.
Thank you very much. The second item, pursuant to section 1011.73 Florida statutes, the school board passed a resolution on May 31st directing the Board of County Commissioners to call for an election in conjunction with the August 30th primary for the electors of the school district to vote on a millage of 0.5 mils for school operations for the fiscal years 2017-18 through 2020-21. Before you today is a proposed resolution calling for that referendum and also directing the supervisor of elections to conduct that referendum election on August 30th, 2016, as was requested by the school board. Simply, the county attorney's office recommends that you approve the resolution as presented. I believe there are representatives from the school board who are here to answer any questions.
Thank you. I have a couple questions.
I do too.
Mr. Rendell might come up. I'll let Commissioner Davis go first. Thank you. Name and address to the record, please.
Mark Rendell, proud resident of Vero Beach for 1460 West 56th Square, 32966.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Davis.
Dr. Rendell, thank you for coming down. And my question is the county's looking at our 1 cent optional sales tax, but we opted to do it in November when we anticipate a larger turnout to get as much, I guess you could say, either as much of the voice of the people as we possibly can. What was the thoughts behind the August 30th time frame for the school board?
Typically, the reason for that is that we wanted to get the news, the good news or the bad news, as soon as possible. This impacts our budget for the 17-18 school year. So if the news was not favorable in August, that would give us the most amount of time to start planning for any budgetary impact for that 17-18 school year.
And what do you anticipate a half mil generating for the school district?
Between $8 and $9 million a year. So that's a significant budgetary impact if we were to lose that funding.
And when you say lose that funding, it's currently in place?
Correct. We currently have the support of the community with a 0.6 discretionary property tax millage, yielding about that amount of money right now. And based on the property tax appraisals for the future, we thought it would be fiscally prudent to reduce the millage to 0.5. So we currently have a 0.6 millage that will be expiring, and so we're asking the voters for continued support in the form of a 0.5.
And that will expire next year?
Correct, June 30th, 2017. So it's a 0.6 right now. Based on the increasing property tax values, to maintain the same funding stream, we would reduce to a 0.5.
So what year was that approved? It seemed like it was just the other day, but I guess it's been
2012.
Yeah.
Okay. 2012.
Well, as long as my mind. Okay, I feel better. Thanks.
Sure.
I'd like to follow up on something Commissioner Davis did. I mean, evidently this just passed a week ago at the board, at the school board, and you're going to have it on the August 30th ballot.
Correct.
How do you intend to get the word out to the citizens during the summer when people are out of school and stuff, so that they actually know it's on the ballot?
Well, we have many means to communicate to the public and to the school, to families, and the rest of the community with media, television, newspaper. We have the ability to reach out to our families through direct mail and that kind of thing.
Do you have an actual plan in place? And one of the reasons I bring this up is because a couple of things. One is on the optional sales tax, we knew it was coming. You know, we started more than 6 months ago, and I made it a part of speaking almost in every group I've spoken to, but most citizens still don't know about it. Things like this, what we've done for TMDL remediation, it's remarkable how much we've tried to publicize our different projects, but how little the public still knows about it. So to me, this is really problematic of having an August 30th primary for something so serious.
Mr. Chairman, I think, isn't that when the last one was approved, though?
Correct. We did it in the August election as well. We will use the same.
Yeah.
So the second question is, as I understand it, with the 0.6 mils back in 2012, you had the support of the charter schools, but what transpired since then didn't really work out the way the charter schools thought it was going to do. Do you have the specific support of the charter schools for this 0.5 mil?
Yes, I can't speak to what happened in the past. I wasn't here. I can't tell you whether they supported it or they didn't support it, or what conversations we had with them in the past or not. We've been working with them to craft the language. Part of this resolution is different. There's a clause in this resolution addressing the charter school funding that they have reviewed and agreed to and are actually quite happy with the language. So we have the full support of the charter schools in this resolution.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, on that same topic, I know a number of the charter representatives said they're very happy with this agreement. They've participated through the whole process, and they're supporting the measure. But the time frame to get the message out, like the chairman had mentioned, I think it was November, December of last year, we decided to start pushing, telling the public starting in January. And even though we've all been out on, I think we've visited all the municipalities, either Jason or Joe has gone to each city council, town council, trying to bring them up to speed, that they just don't know all the things that we've been doing with the money that you would think would be obvious, but they don't. So we wish you good luck on, getting the communications piece out on this, because without it, you would obviously have a big budget hole to fill.
Correct.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Supervisor.
Thank you.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Anybody? I'll move to approve.
Yeah. We have a motion for Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner Fletcher. Mr. Johnson wanted to speak.
And Mr. Chairman, just along those lines, just out of respect for the autonomy of the elected officials of the school board, I think they have to come to us for this. This is not indicative of our support nor rejection of the proposal. It's just as much as this is a formality for them to move forward.
Exactly, I think so. But I think it's a good time to get some questions asked and answered. So I think we've served a public purpose by doing it. But it is more of a procedural type of thing, just making sure some of the boxes are checked.
Yes,
We're not really here to have substantive impact one way or the other. Mr. Johnson.
The question's already been answered, so I have no question.
Thank you very much. Anybody else from the public? So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Now move to